Ever wonder why some workshops leave you feeling energized and inspired, while others, well, they just fall flat? What if I told you there's a secret formula to making your workshops not just good, but epic? In today's episode, we're unlocking that very secret, a well-structured workshop that boosts engagement and ensures your audience hangs on every word. Stick around because you won't want to miss these 5 tips that will transform the way you run your next workshop. Let's get into it. Hello, friends. Welcome to the Community Lab, where passion intertwines with purpose and profit. We're not merely weaving tales of hobbies becoming side gigs here. We're about crafting endeavors that deeply resonate and reward. Whether you're creating courses, guiding lives, or kickstarting a podcast journey, let's elevate together from being zealous dreamers to standout community leaders. Explore the balance between passion and profitability as we unwrap the tools and tactics we use to create, maintain, and grow our own profitable community. So, what's our pledge to you? To guide you from mere daydreaming to creating a vision that's both successful and meaningful, fostering authentic ties in a close-knit community. If you're fueled by passion, eyeing a new prosperous path, and curious about making community a pillar of your success, the Community Lab awaits. Join us and let's turn those visions into profitable ventures. Welcome back to the Community Lab podcast. I'm your host, Rachel. Friends, we had to take last week off unexpectedly. I had a little procedure that ended up being a little bigger than I anticipated, and we had to take last week off. My apologies for that, but we are back at it this week. I just want to remind everyone that our 2-week free event challenge starts September 1st. You can sign up now. Just head over to the link in the show notes and get started. We are so excited. It's starting to pick up in there and we're getting some participants. This challenge will really help you with your event strategy, and we can't wait to help you hit that next level with your events. Now, on to today's episode. Before we get into the nitty-gritty, let's talk about why a well-structured workshop is so crucial. Why should you invest time in getting the structure just right? Well, number 1, clarity and direction. A well-structured workshop provides a clear path for your participants to follow. It keeps them focused and ensures your message is delivered effectively and helps avoid the confusion that can arise from a lack of direction. Imagine showing up to an in-person workshop and there's no agenda. There's no rhyme or reason to how speakers are being presented or how events are unfolding. It can feel confusing and discombobulated, and it really leaves the user wanting some structure. It also takes away from the experience and doesn't allow the participant to really engage within that workshop or event. When your workshop is well structured, it's easy to keep your audience engaged. They know what to expect and when to participate and how to apply what they've learned, making the experience much more rewarding and a lot more likely that they'll implement the new things they've just consumed. A strong structure helps you cover all your key points without feeling rushed or scattered as well. It ensures that you make the best use of your time and your participants' time, leading to a more efficient and impactful session. Now that you understand the structure, let's dive into the first tip, crafting and inviting opening. So, why is this so important? Well, the opening of your workshop sets the tone for everything that follows. A captivating start, whether it's a story, an icebreaker, or a surprising fact, grabs your audience's attention and makes them eager to learn more. A strong opening also helps build a connection with your participants. By starting with something relatable or engaging, you make your audience feel welcome and ready to engage with the content you're about to present. Your opening is the perfect opportunity to set expectations for the session. Let your participants know what they can expect to learn, how they'll be involved, and why the workshop matters to them. Those first few moments you have when you start your presentation really allows the user to say, yes, this is something that I'm ready to buy into. Whether the buy in is a financial one or a time commitment, either way, these first moments in any workshop really sets the tone for how the remainder of the workshop will flow. Let's move on to the second tip. Incorporating interactive elements. Why should interaction be a priority in your workshop structure? Well, interactive elements like polls, quizzes, and live Q&A sessions help keep the energy high and your participants actively engaged. They transform a passive learning experience into an active one. Think back about when you were in high school. I have two high schoolers right now, and or college too. Think about the times where you had those really awesome professors that engaged you in the classroom. They interacted with you. It wasn't just 45 minutes or an hour lecture where you were just supposed to consume and then be able to regurgitate that on a test or the next essay you had to write. It was the teachers who really made you feel like you were immersed inside the interactions that made the learning experience be so much more crisp and clear and easier for you to consume and engage with. When participants are invited to interact, they become more interested in the content. They feel like they're contributing to the discussion, which increases their engagement and retention of the material. Interactive tools also provide real time feedback. You can gauge how well your audience is understanding the content and adjust your approach accordingly. This ensures that everyone stays on the same page and gets the most out of the workshop. Our third tip is all about breaking your content into manageable segments. So, why is this so crucial for workshop success? When you break your content into smaller, focused segments, you help your participants avoid feeling overwhelmed. Each segment should be digestible and build on the previous one, creating a clear and logical flow. Whenever I begin laying out the structure of any workshop that I'm putting together, I start with an outline. And I'll be honest, I break my content up just like the structure I'm telling you right now. And then I sort of go back and fill in the blanks. But I also give myself sort of a time limit or maybe even a slide sort of idea so that I know in my outline what components are going to be longer and which ones are going to be more concise. And this really allows me to build out a strong structure and allows my participants to engage with me. Smaller segments can also help maintain focus. By tackling one topic at a time, you give your participants the opportunity to fully absorb each piece of information before moving on to the next. Dividing your workshop into segments allows for better time management, and you can allocate the right amount of time for each section, ensuring that every key point is covered without feeling rushed. It also allows the participants to jot down notes and be able to ask really great follow-up questions in the Q&A session that I 100% recommend having at the end of any workshop. Tip number 4 focuses on fostering active participation and collaboration. This is so important in the process of building out a strong structure to your workshop. Workshops thrive on collaboration, in particular, virtual workshops. We're not there to engage in person. Virtual workshops can create a roadblock by not having that in person interaction. That's why collaboration is key. By encouraging group activities, discussions, and brainstorming sessions, you create an environment where ideas can flow freely and participants feel like they're part of a team. Active participation keeps your audience engaged. When participants are actively involved in the workshop, they're more likely to stay focused and contribute their ideas and retain the information that's being shared. Collaboration also helps build connections between participants. These connections can lead to a stronger sense of community and make the workshop experience more meaningful for everyone involved. Now, last but not least, let's talk about the importance of concluding with a strong call to action. And why is this the perfect way to end your workshop? Well, a well crafted call to action reinforces the key takeaways from the workshop. It helps participants remember what they've learned and encourages them to apply it in their own context. Your call to action can also drive continued engagement. Whether it's signing up for a follow up session, joining a community discussion, or completing a task, a clear next steps keeps the momentum going even after the workshop ends. Finally, a strong call to action inspires your participants to take what they've learned and put it into practice. It's the final push they need to turn knowledge into action, ensuring that your workshop has a lasting impact. Now, how do you set the structure up? Might be your next question, right? And this is what I do. I start with one of two things. I really enjoy laying my workshops out with a Trello board. I've created a template that you can download and access for free here in the show notes of exactly how I brainstorm my workshops. So we have a really big event planner Trello template that we use. It's part of the event and free challenge. If you do the VIP pass, we include that planner. And one component of that is how I brainstorm and structure my workshops. And you can do this in a Google Doc, you can do this on paper. I just really enjoy using a Trello board because number one, I can move things about. And number two, I just like being able to access it wherever I'm at so that if as I'm developing the workshop, I'm able to kind of go and throw some notes in here and there. So I'm going to head over to a video now and you can see just how I lay out and brainstorm my workshops. I'm obviously recommend heading over to the YouTube channel so that you can watch the video portion of this episode next. But keep in mind that at the end of the day, creating that really strong structure is truly the key to having an engaging workshop. All right, friends, let's head over to the video. Hi, friends. Okay, let's take a look at the secret sauce to producing an epic workshop. I like to start any planning process with this Trello board template, and I'm sharing it with you today. So, this is how I structure and plan my events, my workshops, my monthly content pieces that I'm going to do live. This is where I get started, and I'm going to give it to you today. So, first things first, if you are a free or a paid Trello user, it doesn't matter. You can use this template on either type of an account. Just pop in, and at the top here, you're going to see Create Board from Template. Click that button, and then you can name this board. I like to name it whatever I am naming the workshop itself. Once I do that, I've now created a board inside my space. So you are now within your own account and you can share as little or as much information with your team right from your Trello board. This first space, the quick grabs area, is my go-to spot to host anything and everything I think I might want to access just that quickly. So I like to put my Canva templates there for graphics. I like to put my slide deck link there. I like to have, that description of my event so I can access it. I feel like I'm constantly copying and pasting that everywhere. I just like to have anything and everything that I might need on the fly right there in the first columns. I can grab it easily, and it really helps me facilitate and support my team whenever I have an event. Now, the quick grabs area is a great place that we'll kind of develop too. So as you're working through each of these other steps, you're going to start to see things that you're like, yes, I need to put that over into the quick grabs area. Now, the next column is that basic workshop overview space. And when I pop into each one of these, you're going to see that within there's a brief description as to what that means and then a little checklist. Now, this is, a framework for you to help you get started. It's not meant to be that you absolutely have to check every last one of these items off. It's just some ideas to be thinking about as you start to develop your next workshop. Keep in mind that there's no right or wrong answers here, and a lot of it has to do with your community itself. But there are some tried and true things that obviously have to happen, such as coming up with a date, a name, a description, and what the purpose overall is for your workshop. Now, for me, I like to do that in a Google Doc. And you can see here that this is my brainstorm outline that I created for the masterclass that I am hosting with Circle here in later this month. Very excited. If you haven't signed up for it, you absolutely should. I like to start off this brainstorm with what my call to action is going to be. So, what is the outcome I'm hoping to get from this workshop? And it can be as simple as your monthly content and you're just engaging. But I also like to have some sort of follow up. So for me, this upcoming masterclass I'll be doing, I'm really trying to push people toward my free quiz and towards my 2-week event edit challenge. And so that's my call to action right off the bat. Then I like to have my delivery date, the day I'm actually hosting it, or if it's like an evergreen product, the day I'm dropping it. A brief description of what to expect. For the upcoming workshop that I'm doing. And then I like to create a very detailed event outline. And the reason why spending this extra time right off the bat is so beneficial is because it helps you create your slide deck. It helps you put your thoughts into place. And it also will immensely help you streamline the content. I'm one of those people who can make a 20-minute workshop or a 2-hour workshop. And so I have to really streamline my thoughts. And by creating a detailed outline, and a lot of times, like in future iterations of this, as I start building out the slide deck and all of those items, which I'm going to show you behind the scenes of that in some upcoming videos. But you'll see I'll put times by things like this section's going to take me 10 minutes to cover, and this one's going to take me 5 minutes to cover, so on and so forth. That way, it really allows me to get a top level view and be able to meet the expectation of those attending my workshop. So, what I like to do is once I have this outline all in place, I'll just grab the link. I'm going to hit copy link. And you can do a lot of things here. You can use a power up if you're familiar with Trello and you have a paid account, or you can do something as simple as adding it right on in to that to be. And now that document's right there for you to review. And let's say I've got all these guys done. So now I can say, boom, got all my checks done. And as you can see, now it's green and check. You'll see each one of these sections. So we've got our overview, we've got the actual planning, the execution, post workshop, and then resources and references. A lot of that too will fall into the quick grabs area. But I will do research around what I'm going to speak about. And I like to keep all of those links and references in one spot. For me, I'm a really big stats person. So I like to include stats within presentations that I do. And I'll keep all of that information there. You'll notice in each one of these spaces, I'll give you some idea of things to kind of keep in mind. And in general, you can make this template all yours. You might find that there are things that you never thought to do. You might find that you make marketing and promotion its own list. However, it works best for you. At the end of the day, creating a workshop is more than just kind of
throwing an idea out there. It is very imperative to plan from the moment you launch it until post workshop to make sure that you facilitated it really well. And we all know that there's things that we can do better. And so it's that time after the workshop that's just as valuable as that pre planning, where you look at the feedback you get and see how you can do better at the next one. That workshop debrief is imperative. Okay, friends, I hope that this Trello board helps you with brainstorming and planning your next workshop. If you have questions on it, please just hop into the community and either myself or one of the team will be happy to help you out. Or if you're on the fence or want to brainstorm some ideas, that's what the community is all about. Head in, let us help. Okay, friends, until next week, same time, same place. Bye.
And there you have it, the secret to a well structured workshop. By crafting and inviting opening, incorporating interactive elements, breaking your content into manageable segments, fostering collaboration, and ending with a strong call to action, you'll be well on your way to creating workshops that engage, inspire, and leave a lasting impact. I encourage you to take these tips and put them into practice in your next workshop. I'd love to hear how it goes. Share your experiences with me over on social media or drop me a message. Head into the Community Lab community and engage in one of the podcast threads. As always, thank you for tuning into the Community Lab podcast. Don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and share this episode with anyone you think might benefit from it. Join me next time when we'll be exploring even more event strategies. Until then, keep structuring, keep engaging, and keep thriving. Cheers.